Envision a world where California floats, isolated, enigmatic, enclosed by ocean. For more than 200 years, cartographers regarded it as the reality, an isle adrift off the western coast of North America. The origins trace back to 1510, with a tale from Spain. A writer named Garci Rodriguez de Montalvo created Las Sergas de Esplandian, which introduced a fictional island known as California, governed by a powerful queen named Calafia, and inhabited by warrior women. This was not intended as a depiction of real geography, but rather a work of imagination. However, when Spanish explorers arrived at the Baja Peninsula, they believed they had discovered a real version of Montalvo's story. They named it California, and assumed it was an island. During the early 17th century, a Carmelite friar named Antonio de la Ascensión joined a California expedition. Around the year 1620, he created a map illustrating California as an island, and sent it back to Spain. However, fate had other plans. Dutch pirates captured the vessel, and took the map to Amsterdam. European mapmakers, hungry for fresh geographical knowledge, started reproducing it. Thus, the myth was born. During the 1620s, maps depicting California as an island became widely distributed in Spain, Holland, and later England. In 1625, British mathematician Henry Briggs released one of these maps, solidifying the geographical mistake for many years. This was not an isolated mistake, it turned into a recurring occurrence. More than 700 maps from the 17th and 18th centuries illustrated California as an island. A collector named Glenn McLaughlin became fascinated by the error, and built a large collection of these maps, which are now kept at Stanford's Map Center. Map makers frequently replicated previous maps, instead of verifying them anew, particularly when the risks or expenses of exploration were high. As a result, the misconception grew. Each successive generation of maps continued to propagate the mistake. At the same time, information gradually emerged. In the 1530s, the Spanish explorers, including those dispatched by Cortés, encountered the Colorado River at the northern end of Baja, which ought to have dispelled the notion of California being an island. Nevertheless, maps continued to reflect that idea. In 1705, Jesuit missionary and cartographer Eusebio Kino created a map that illustrated California as part of the mainland, based on his overland explorations. However, for many years, this representation did not influence the views of cartographers. It wasn't until 1747 that King Ferdinand VI of Spain officially recognized California as a peninsula, marking the beginning of the myth's eventual decline. Nevertheless, maps persisted in depicting it as an island, well into the late 18th century. So why did cartographers hold on to fictional representations, even after explorers had a clearer understanding? Myths have a way of persisting. As author Rebecca Solnit suggested, an island can be defined as anything enclosed by difference. California is bordered by harsh mountains, arid desert, and the ocean. It gives off the impression of being an island, despite not actually being one. This psychological connection helped maintain the myth, replicating maps without confirmation, covert Spanish map-making, original works captured by pirates, and a cultural myth based on romance all merged to solidify the illusion. Ultimately, California existed as an island, not in reality. It was a strong idea shaped by imagination. Simplified maps and persistent myth. Maps don't always reflect the actual world. At times, they serve as reflections of creativity, longing, or mistakes. In the upcoming episode of Maps That Misled Us, we join adventurers in pursuit of a mountain that was never there. Yes, you heard it correctly. The Mountains of Kong. Stay tuned. It's hard to believe, but it might be real or just a figment of imagination.